Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the massive, complex, and totally fascinating system of Indian elections. It's often called a festival of democracy, and we're going to dig into exactly what that means.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the big why this all matters. Then we'll walk through the whole process, step by step. After that, we'll ask the big question, is the system really democratic? And finally, we'll look at some of the challenges that are still out there.
So first things first, with a population as massive as India's, it's just not possible for everyone to have a say in every single decision, right? That's why we elect representatives. But the bigger question is, why does it have to be a competition?
This really does feel like a paradox, doesn't it? I mean, all the political fighting, the division, it can get pretty tiring. Well, the thing is, the folks who wrote our Constitution, they knew this would happen, but they figured the payoff was worth it.
And here's the key takeaway. All that competition, it creates a really powerful incentive. It doesn't matter if a leader is doing a good job out of the kindness of their heart or just because they're scared of losing the next election. Either way, they have to answer to us, the voters.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's get into the how. What does this whole process actually look like, from the moment an election is called all the way to a winner being declared?
So first up, you've got two main kinds of elections. There's the big one, the general elections. That's the one where we all vote for the national parliament, the Lok Sabha, every 5 years. And then there are these things called by-elections. They're much smaller, and they happen when a single seat opens up, maybe because someone resigns or passes away. You can really break down the whole election machine into 6 major steps. It's like a journey, really, that takes us from literally drawing lines on a map to counting up all the votes at the very end. So step 1, the whole country gets divided up. Imagine slicing it into 543 pieces. Each one of those pieces is a constituency, and the people in each of these areas vote for just one person to represent them in the Lok Sabha.
Okay, now this is a really unique and important part of the Indian system, reserved constituencies. See, the founders of the country were worried that in a totally open race, some communities that have been historically marginalized just wouldn't stand a chance. So this system was created to make sure their voices are heard in Parliament. It's about guaranteeing a seat at the table.
And here you can see exactly how that plays out with the numbers. So, out of those 543 seats we talked about, a total of 84 are set aside for scheduled castes, and another 47 for scheduled tribes. In those specific areas, only a candidate from that particular community can actually run for election. It's a huge deal, and a core part of making sure everyone is represented.
All right, next step, figuring out who actually gets to vote. The government has this enormous task of creating the official voter list. They have to make sure every single citizen who's 18 or older is on it. And this isn't a one-and-done thing. This list is constantly being updated. You got to add the new 18-year-olds and take off the names of people who've moved or, passed away.
Okay, so we have the voters. Now who can run? Basically, any citizen who's a voter and is at least 25 years old can throw their hat in the ring. But it's more than just signing a piece of paper. Thanks to a Supreme Court ruling, candidates have to be totally transparent. They have to tell everyone about their finances, their education, and, importantly, if they have any serious criminal cases against them.
All right, the candidates are in place. Now the real fun begins, the campaign. This is that period of intense activity where parties hit the road with rallies, posters, speeches, everything they can think of to win our votes. And slogans are a huge part of it. Think about a classic like Garibi Hatao, Remove Poverty, from back in 1971. Just 2 words, but so powerful and easy for everyone to understand.
Okay, so we've walked through this whole massive, detailed system. But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually work? Is it really a democratic process? Let's put it to the test.
The first big check mark in the democratic column has to be the Election Commission of India. It's incredibly powerful, and crucially, it's independent. Yeah, the president appoints them, but they don't work for the government. They're like a neutral referee. And they have some serious power. They set the rules, they enforce a code of conduct, and they can even punish candidates or parties, even the party in power, if they break the rules.
The second piece of evidence? It's us, the people. What we've seen over the years is that more and more people are showing up to vote. And what's really interesting is that turnout is actually rising among the poor, the illiterate, and other underprivileged groups. This tells you something really important. People believe their vote matters. They believe it can actually change things. And number 3 may be the most important test of all. People accept the results. Think about it. In India, it is very common for the party in power to lose an election. That doesn't happen everywhere. And when they lose, they accept it.
The losing side almost always says, okay, that's the people's verdict, and they step aside. That's a huge sign of a healthy democracy.
So, okay, the system has some major strengths, but, and this is a big but, it is definitely not perfect. There are still some really serious challenges that we need to talk about.
And these challenges are no small thing. For one, money plays a huge role. If a candidate has deep pockets, they just have a massive unfair advantage. Then there's the issue of family dynasties, where it feels like the same few families dominate politics, making it tough for ordinary, talented people to get a shot. And for us voters, sometimes it can feel like there isn't much of a real choice. The big parties might look different, but when you look at their policies, they can seem pretty similar.
So this all leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? The challenges, the money, the dynasties, they are absolutely real. But you know what else is real? The power of the Indian voter. That's the force that has consistently shaped this country's path. And really, that ongoing struggle, that push and pull between the system's flaws and the power of the people, that's what the next chapter of India's democracy is all about.